Hey everybody, welcome back to Movie Explosion.
Hey!
Today where are you?
So
Yeah.
just an FYI to any of you people out there that have parents with the kids, this film that we're about to review, just make sure that your kids aren't in the room because there's a warning in the very beginning of the movie. This film has been rated X
Yeah.
by some Christian people, Christian jury, Christian scientist jury. So yeah, all right. Spoiler alert. Tell them what we saw.
We saw a movie called Velocipastor.
A troubled priest.
How long has it been since your last confession?
Oh, it's been about 2 years. I do drugs, sell drugs, murder people.
A Velocipastor. A beautiful girl with a dark past.
Last night was amazing.
What are you talking about?
The time you turned into a dinosaur and ate someone.
Dinosaur.
Not Raptor,
Yeah.
Pastor.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking, hey, this is called
Not
Velociraptor.
Raptor
That's
Jesus.
Cool. That's cool. But Velocipastor? Whoa, what? Mind
Yeah.
blown. This movie came about when the filmmaker was typing Velociraptor into his phone or like on Google, and it said, "Do you mean Velocipastor?" And he's like, I guess I mean that now." And that's awesome.
Like, hey, we accidentally came up with an original idea because that's how they come up with these ideas nowadays is by accident, which I appreciate. A lot of what I do happens by accident.
Yeah, in the 20s when Jim Lee created Batman, he was on his phone and he was like, "Oh, I gotta visit my cousin who makes hats, the Hat Man." And Google is like, "Do you mean Batman?" Is like, "Whoa, I do mean Batman. Thank you, 1920s Google." It's true.
Good work.
That's not even fake. That's a true story.
That was like 100 years ago now. So now when we say the 20s, we're talking about now instead of the 20s.
I know.
We all got to say 1920s from now on.
Yes.
It's like when people were like, "Hey, turn of the century," back in the 90s, they were talking about 100 years ago.
They were.
Now, is it? But wait a minute. Do we say turn of the century or do we say turn of the millennium? Isn't it really fun when your birthday would have fallen on a Saturday, but then it was a leap year and it was like, "Hey, fuck you. Guess what?
Has it happened to
You
you?
gotta go to church on your birthday."
Ugh, that's bad.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was you get to go to church on your birthday.
You get to go.
You can scratch that part.
Don't be so negative.
Get to go.
You get to go. One day, maybe Jambus will hear your prayers instead of ignoring them and keep giving you that weird itch down below.
Pastor Dave said that that itch is a blessing, actually, and not a curse.
Yeah. Well,
I was not
Dave,
cursed by Pastor Dave. I was blessed.
Yeah, you're blessed by Pastor Dave. I was blessed by Pastor Dave
Yeah.
and Pastor Ben and this guy who's looking in the window, and they invited him in. We had a gang bless. It's a gang blessing.
Oh.
Great. Let's do this. Let's bless this shit. Velocipastor is about a pastor, and okay, so his parents were driving him off to priest college.
Well, they were picking him up from Pastor
Oh,
College.
pastor, yeah, something like that. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Your mom and I will take a drive. We'll pick you up after priest college.
Thanks, Dad.
He's doing his sermon in the church or whatever he's doing, and then he goes outside, and his car blows up. The parents' car blows up, and you're like, no.
No, it's very dramatic. You know, I thought
It
it was well
was.
done. I worry that we may have seen an incomplete version of the film. I'm sure that there's a.
I think that was
Yeah.
the artist's choice. I think it was like, hey, you've seen
Really?
explosions before. We don't have to bore you with that. So we're just going to
Yeah.
put a thing on the screen that says explosion because you've seen it. And we don't want to tell you something you don't
Yeah.
already know. Like, why tread
Okay,
that?
you know, that makes sense because and also you don't want to take away from the emotional impact that is clearly had on our main character, our main protagonist. Because he really sells it. I mean, he goes out there, he's so excited, Mom, Dad, and then boom, and he just falls down the stairs, and he's just like, "What?"
It's an amazing camera
You know,
work.
that
as
was
the
his,
camera,
you know, his movie award moment.
Then as the camera like sloppily pans up over the rest of the building, it's amazing. It's just like the choices they made are very bold, and I enjoy the choices. We've seen Jurassic Park. We don't need a realistic dinosaur. Why? Well, that's what it looks like. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Who cares? I don't care. I saw Jurassic Park.
They nailed
It was
it.
very
They
impressive.
nailed
Yeah.
it. So his parents explode, and he's crying, and the priest starts giving him the sacramental wine, and they're getting drunk. His priest mentor, Vietnam veteran, you know.
Oh yeah.
He served his country, and now he's serving the Lord.
Yep.
And you know, hopefully he's not servicing anybody else. I don't think he is.
I don't think he's either.
He seems like one of the good ones. You know, sometimes God has a plan, and your parents are in a better place.
And parents die. That's
But,
what
you know,
they do.
Doug
They die on you.
He's just like, I don't know.
So your parents died, Doug. It's what parents do. They die on you. They're in a better place. Pace requiescat.
Parents
That's what they
die.
do.
Everybody dies. Jeff
That's
Bezos dies.
That's their purpose in this movie, to die.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise the story wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because what happens is he goes on I don't know if they said a spirit journey, but he goes to China.
Well,
And
he goes
shot.
He goes to where the priest says he goes to where God will not follow you, or you don't think God will follow you, which of course is
Yes.
Because why would
That's
God
right, because he's not allowed in China.
They don't do that stuff over there. Yeah, it's illegal.
No, they don't. They don't even have Ghostbusters there because they think it's devil worship.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes there and he's like, and he sees this like ninja type lady, you know, running around, and she gets an arrow through the chest, and he's very considerate. He goes, "Are you okay?" And you know, it's like,
Are you hurt?
"Are you okay?"
Really, you know, they had a budget, right? And some of that they had to, you know, sort of acceptable things here, but then other things, you know, gore.
Yeah.
I mean, really, God, look at that.
This woman's like says something in Chinese,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What are you saying?" And she gives him this big tooth, and it cuts his hand, and then he passes out. And we don't know what happened.
Well, she's like, destroy it, and he's like, you want me to keep it? And she's like, destroy it, and he's like, okay.
And he wakes up in, you know, bed back at home, and it's a good way to say, like, the priest comes like, oh, by the way, you know, you must have had a dream about your journeys about the tooth. So like, oh, that happened, and it was a dream. So it's good, you know, moving the story along.
I was confused. Yeah, I was like, this is a dream, but Steve, or what's his name, is talking about, you know, how he went there.
Yeah.
And then he said something sort of disparaging about, you know, Eastern cultures.
Yes.
And he's like, dragon something. Yeah, that sounds very Eastern.
Yeah.
But it turns out, you know, he might actually have a chip on his shoulder from his past about him.
I just put that together. Yeah. Why he might be anti-Asian because of his experience in Vietnam. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just like regular, no reason racism. Like
No.
he actually, you know, it turns out that he's like, it's not just because like society told him to hate Asians.
Yeah.
He learned to hate them on his own, I
Yeah,
guess.
you know,
That doesn't sound great.
If you learn to
That
hate
doesn't
someone,
sound much better.
if you learn to
but-
hate, if you learn to hate, if you learn to hate through personal experience, you know, it's all right. I saw a president briefing the other day. That's what he said. He said, if you learn hate through personal experience, then go for it. That's what he said. So.
Oh my God, did he really say that?
No, he didn't say that.
Oh,
But
okay.
what's fucked up is what's so messed up is
I really believed you.
I know, but the crazy thing is though, is he might say something like that. And you go, yes. Oh wow. Did you?
I really believe that. And then he would just say that he didn't say those things.
Then we meet a young prostitute, and she's walking on the street, and she meets up with her pimp named Frankie Mermaid. And Frankie Mermaid is an over-the-top character.
Yeah, well, do you remember he likes talking about why he gave himself that nickname?
Now, what's my name?
Frankie Mermaid.
And why is my name Frankie Mermaid? Speak up, girls! I'm gonna give you the fucking boot!
Cause you're swimming in bitches.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right.
We meet the prostitute in the park because he saves the prostitute's life. Yes.
Yeah, she was gonna be killed by like a mugger because she's out like in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, turning tricks to nobody.
Yeah. I don't
the guy's
know.
like, your money or your life.
Yeah, why is she in the woods looking for that? Like, who's out there that even has any money? Like, it's just a bad place to be doing that. I don't think you're getting business. I don't think anybody's going to be there.
No. I don't even know why the mugger was there. It's stupid.
Who are you waiting for?
Anyway.
But, yeah, so he's in the woods
right.
freaking out a little bit because he's kind of like turned into a velociraptor. And he saves the girl, and he wakes up in bed the next day. And, you know, he hasn't had sex before. Like, well, that's what happened last night. It's like, I never done that before. And she's thinking about, you know, like the murder as a velociraptor. Like,
yeah.
I turned a velociraptor, I don't remember. And that's when he's late for confession. And Frankie Mermaid's there. Yeah. He's like, I killed these people out front of the church. Yeah, smoking and saying like, it's been.
He's like, you can't smoke in here, and he's like, Frankie Mermaid smokes wherever he pleases because he's on fire. Yeah. You know, I want to be Frankie Mermaid. I want to be that man. Yeah, because he's the one that blew up the couple in front of the church, and then some priest ran out screaming, "Mommy, Daddy, no!" And it's like, dude, you went to confess that you killed the parents of one of the priests in the church. Like,
well, confessions are, they can't tell people about that shit. That's the rule.
Yes.
You know, like I could go there and say, I don't know, I'm gonna rob a bank tomorrow. It's like, don't do that, my son. And I can't. I don't ask the movie rules about it anyway, so they can't really say anything.
If you narc on the guy that told a confession and they go to jail, they're not going to be able to give you any more money.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep that little tip jar greased.
The money train, the priest money train coming in.
Yeah. Little basket. Did you have a basket or a little tin metal tray?
A basket with a stick on it.
Church.
And they would stick the basket down the aisle without going down the aisle of pews with the basket on it. They had the big dowel on it? Yeah, just like...
they shove it in your face, or did people just hand the basket?
It's a wicker, but sometimes I remember they would pass the basket. Sometimes they'd have the basket with a huge stick and they just would push it down and you put stuff in there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Here, take more money.
Yeah. We always gave $1.
Maybe something, I
Our
guess.
dad would hand out dollars, and each of us would get
Ah.
the job of putting $1 in the basket
Yeah.
for good old Jambus.
Yeah. Money
The
for Jam.
Jamboree.
I
Yeah.
think around this time in the movie where we meet Frankie Mermaid, there's a dot in the corner of the screen. And
Well, I had a dot in the middle bottom, and then I had one that was like off on the side, and it was here, and then it was there, and then it would go away, and it would come back.
they're very clever. The first time I saw this movie, I'm like,
Yes.
all right, so there's something on your screen. And John's like, whatever. And I went over there, and nope, I'm the asshole, and they got me.
That happened to me too. I was asking about it during the movie. I was like, does anybody else have this shit on their screen?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think there's something wrong with their camera, because I tried wiping it off of my screen, and my screen's clean. They got me, man. I was really happy about that.
So he's kills Frankie Mermaid, and he's like, hey, prostitute lady, she was very good in this, but she's pre-med law prostitute. Yeah, pre-med law.
Yeah, she's got to pay for her pre-med law degree somehow, right?
You're a hooker?
And pre-med law, but people aren't surprised as much by that one.
He goes back to her place, like, all right, we have to kill these bad people. I killed Frankie Mermaid. She's like, thank you so much. He was a jerk to me. And yay.
Yeah.
And most movies will be over because all their problems are solved. But he's like, no, we're going to go and kill people who are bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, because he already knows that Frankie Mermaid was hired to kill his parents by somebody else. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he got his quick fix of revenge.
Yeah.
But he's really got to take care of the shit now. And so they're like, hey, we got to do this. We got to stop crime. This is my new destiny. God said that, we're going to punish the wicked. And he's like, I am the raptor claw of God. And so he's, doing all this research about crime,
Yes, he is. And when he's reading his crime book, and then the priest comes in, and is like, oh, he can't see this. So he puts this big crime book inside of a Bible. I think his book was called Crime 2 or something like that. Like,
it's an anthology.
I guess so. There's only 2 books on crime, and this is the second one. So then the priest is like, all right, we're going to go to an exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
that guy had some really, he had a great look.
Well, he's like a Vegas magician who's like trying to be gothy and weird.
Yeah, he looked like somebody from, that nice little pocket of time between Columbine and 9/11.
Yeah.
He looks like he would fit in right perfectly well in that 2-year period.
He's like, the guy is so over the top. And he's like, hello, yes. And he's just, it's amazing. And they sit down, and he's like, tell me your feelings as we begin the seance. And he doesn't know what to do because he's not really feeling anything. He's like, anxiety? I don't know.
Feels a little hot in here. Yes, all normal.
And then he starts to really feel it. But the priest is
kind of hot.
Yeah, it's kind of hot in here. I'm a little warm. But I love the priest because he takes this card and he holds the card in his hand and just moves it.
He's got that tarot card.
And just moves it like this
the
whole time. Like, what is that accomplishing? Did you just choose to do that? And then we cut to a flashback. This is an amazing scene. A flashback of the priest in Vietnam. Which begs the question, how old is this man?
Yeah.
So if he was like 20, I guess he could be 70. All right.
Yeah, if he was 20 and Vietnam was like 45, 50 years ago, it fits there.
The de-aging process they did on this man isn't forget about the Irishman. This is way better.
Oh, it was excellent.
You got this like
that is where the budget went. The gore and the de-aging.
I mean, it looks like a different person because the person I know from the movie has gray hair, but this guy has blonde hair, and instead of a gray mustache, it's his blonde mustache, which it changed, and it's like, oh my God, you went back 50 years into history, and then he's standing around with some other soldiers, and this woman comes running up, and it's his sweetheart from home, and she just steps on a landmine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great because they go, why was she out here? Oh, I think she was trying to have some children. They just rub it in. He's never going to have any kids. It's amazing. And we go back to the exorcism. And the Velocipastor works out his feelings, and now he attacks the priest. We don't know what happens to him. We know he's attacked. And he runs out. The pastor and the prostitute are in bed together, and they've had sex. And it's a very epic sex scene because it's over-edited. Like, inside of the scene, there's a song, and then they show basically the whole movie in little pieces up to that point. But we meet the bad guys because the ninjas attack them in the morning. They jump through the window and they both fight in their underwear, and they beat them. And she says,
Where did all these ninjas come from?
China.
Yes, but not just China. They were
Templars. They were Ninja Templars.
Ninja Templars, and they have a plot to make everybody Christian through cocaine. Yeah, I guess they're trying to resell their sins.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they do that 12-step program. If you get people addicted to drugs, and then you're the only solution to their problem, seems like a win-win.
Are you saying religion is like drugs and it's addictive? Whoa. Whoa. Love the ninja training scenes. It's people just doing a punch, like punch, and they're standing there.
Kick.
And turns out the priest is alive. He just has an eye patch over his glasses, which looks ridiculous. Yeah, and here's the plan about the Templar Christians. And then the Velocipastor with the prostitute show up. And he's badass now. He's a leather jacket. He's had sex. So he's badass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at those eyes.
I know.
Those are the eyes of somebody who had sex for the first time in like 30 years.
And we find out that there's a lead ninja. A lead ninja is like, you don't recognize me? And takes off his ninja mask. And he goes, oh, it's so-and-so. It's my brother.
Yeah.
My brother? What the hell? Then we go another flashback. And in the flashbacks, he's there in the corner and no one gives a shit about him. No one talks to him. No one looks at him. He's just fucking there. And he's just standing there angry. And he spent his whole life being ignored. Literally ignored. They have a fight and it's great. And he kills lots of people and it's awesome. And then the head ninja.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a pretty epic climax.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and then as, like, I think the brother's dying, all these ninjas are watching very sadly. No. Not when he's hit. The girl's hit is cut with the sword.
Oh, I remember them being sad. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he gets mad and turns into Velocipastor, like full on. That we see for the first time. Yeah, and he goes in a rampage. He fights
it was like fucking epic Lord of the Rings battle, or like freaking America 3000 final battle of just action and excitement.
Yeah.
Just people getting thrown all over the place.
Head guy shoots him in the leg with anti-Velocipastor arrows. And he's like, oh no.
He stole his density.
He goes back to a human form. And then He says, well, I'm going to kill you now. And it's like, oh, my hand is immune to that stuff. And he takes his Velocipastor hand, and I think in an amazing way, like, they show a fake head explode, and they pull it off his body.
Just twists it and yanks it right off.
He does.
Yeah.
Pulls
And
it
then
up.
drips it all over him. You know, it's coming out, just spraying all over his face.
I thought
Yeah.
it exploded like in rubber, but he took it off his head. Then you get that quote that's behind you.
Yeah, it's a really good quote. You know, this is why he was the Mahatma. I mean, because really just smart observations like
Yeah.
this. You know,
I mean,
if the sky is blue, it's blue, right?
it's not obvious at all, you know?
No.
It's like, oh, yeah, if you get rid of violence, there's no more violence. Well, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Violence, the lack of violence is no violence. And that,
Yeah. Things are peaceful, there's peace.
yeah. If I take a shower, I want to be wet for a little while. But you go to the hospital, and the doctor's there, and he comes in and looks through some cigarette butts and, like, takes one. And he's like, hey, she's all right. We fixed her. And, you know, I wasn't sure if she was fine or not. I didn't know. But they go in the thing, and she goes, I'm fine. He says, you're fine? Like, yes, I'm fine. And the screen says she's fine. So everything's cool.
Yeah. It was a happy ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, they go off, and he's not a priest, but they go off, and they're badasses, and they plan to kill more bad people in the Ninja Templars.
Sweet. I liked the Ninja Templars. I thought that they were a really good, well-rounded, and believable adversary for our hero to battle against.
I love the camera work. I love the constant zooms into people's faces as they're talking. I like how the camera...
They need to do that more. It felt very 70s-like, and they need to bring that back.
They're trying to raise money for Outback Dracula. It's a
Hell
sequel.
yeah.
It's a sequel. It's not like a story sequel, but it's like the same kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's about like a psychic and someone in Australia killing vampires or something. Sounds great to me. Velocipastor, you should watch it because you'll enjoy it.
Watch it.
Oh, why am I so tired today? I'm a Velocipastor and I'm getting tired. That was a great movie.
Yeah, it was. I watched it again today after watching it last night. It was totally good. I plan on watching it again this week.
Well,
Excited.
one reason I might be tired is we watched a movie that was very tiring and long, and our favorite actor of all time is in it, and and I want to defend him in this movie because everyone is comparing him to Russell Crowe in Les Mis and stuff, and he's bad, but like I think that the story and all the other stuff that existed before for this movie that existed in this movie made it bad. It's first of all, okay, it's called Phantom of the Opera. Maybe you might have heard of it.
Yeah, maybe.
God, I don't know. I don't know. But so he's in this movie called
this movie came out like
2004.
2004.
Okay, so he plays this guy who lives in the sewers of like this French theater or some shit. And he's this little girl, and he like trains this little girl like to sing and to be good at music, like secretly, you know. And then she gets older, and he's older, and now he wants to marry her. Now you set him up.
Seems like a good way of doing things. It's a great way to conduct yourself. You got to groom these people from childhood and make their life for them and get inside their head and then abandon them and then years later be like, hey, remember me?
Well, I know, but everyone said that this movie was awful. But if you set him up with like a pervy story like that, where can you go? You know. Now
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. Now he's got to fight this guy over like the girl because she met this other guy. You know, and it's just you put him in a situation. You make his character a huge pervert that's like a year-long, like a lifelong plan to like have sex with this person that you saw as a baby, which is, you know, what are you gonna do with that? And then you make him sing. It's like, well, he doesn't sing that lot, so he's trying. You said, hey, I want you in this movie, so he tries to sing. Like he said, like, I'm not the best singer.
Tries. I thought he did a great job.
He was awesome. And like you have scenes where everybody's singing over each other. Then you have black and white scenes that are like the
But those are the future.
Yeah, the present or the future,
present's
whatever.
1919, but the bulk of this movie takes place in the 1870s.
Yeah.
But then it even starts before that, right?
Yeah, it's like, it was 1870s is when it's 70 when the past happens, and that's in color. It's like you give them this puzzle of a story, and it's like, what do you expect to happen? Like he put 110% in, and
it shows. He carried it. He carried that whole movie.
And then
with his beautiful voice.
And then the makeup department, I think it's their fault too, because they describe this guy as horrific, you know. But he looks fine. He looks like, you know, like he had a little accident or something. But he's okay. Yeah. The one side of his face is kind of messed up and got inside of his head, like over his ear. And but yeah.
Just comb over, bro. Just comb the hair over it.
Yeah. He's not that scary.
Yeah.
So they could have made him scarier.
Powder, makeup.
I just think that they could have done more.
Like if his eyeball was like drooping out of the socket, you know, if they really gave him like that the good Two-Face treatment.
Yes, that's exactly what I would say. Be scary. They should have done that. And other singers, you know, the singers and other singers were like fine singers, and like I think they tried to like show them up, like look how great we are, you know. Look, we're awesome singers. You know, you're a piece of garbage. He's like, you asked me to come here, you know. What do you want from me? Great. Oh, you're Broadway. You're awesome. Oh, Patrick Wilson, you're so amazing. But come on, like you called me here, and now you're gonna shit on me. You know, it's good to even stayed with the movie.
Yeah,
you have to.
Those dicks.
If you want to, like, you could see this movie if you really wanted to see like someone really struggle through a really poor looking production with like talented people flaunting their skill but not and the story is garbage.
Yuck.
Yeah, the story is garbage. The girl that he raises from a child to have sex with, she like goes back and forth, like him, I don't like him. It's like, you gotta pick someone or pick no one or do something. You know, he's not blowing up the White House, or he's not friends with the president, or he's not killing Persians, you know, and he's out of his area, and he's made this big step to be in your movie, and you're going to do this to him. I just think it's unfair.
I agree. I'm totally 100% there with you.
Yeah.
Though I would like to see more Persians getting exploded by GP.
Yeah, they should have had like
more American flags. You know, I know that this took place in France, but you know, I want to see those stars and stripes.
Yeah.
Every scene, like a Michael Bay film.
Yeah.
If Michael Bay made this movie, it would have been better.
It would have been so good. It would have been like when that chandelier hit the stage, exploded.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have blown up like the entire city block.
Like when the girl took the mask off his face, explosion should have happened right there. I mean, some people are calling him an off-key sewer Dracula, but nah. No. He is an on-key Yeah, he is an on-key, mysterious Batman.
Grotto Batman, yes.
Grotto
Batman.
Ooh, that's good. Grotto Batman. If you want to watch somebody get abused by their castmates, go watch Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
If you've seen enough this year and you don't want to see any more tragedy, then don't see it.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I second that sentiment.
But Velocipastor, yes. And Phantom
Yes,
of the Opera, yes. And Phantom of the Opera, yes, if you want to see what we're talking about. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's a poorly written story,
Yeah.
with a bunch of jerks showing off their awesome voices.
Yeah. I mean, if you have VPN, just pirate it. All right.
I gotta go and do a thing, but you have fun
Yeah.
doing your thing. I'll do my thing.
I will. All right.
And things
Cool.
will happen.
Things always happen
Things always happen.
when you're fapping.
All right, I'm gonna go this way. No.
All right. See ya.
Uh,
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.